Hey guys, it's Jessie, and welcome to my very first ever movie reaction. So today we're going to be looking at Batman Under the Red Hood. There are a couple things before we get started. This is going to be more of a commentary, as this is not going to be a completely blind reaction. I have seen this movie once or twice, but it was when it was first released, so I would have been 11. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember a lot of the finer details of this movie. However, even if I hadn't seen it, a lot of the stuff that's going to be in this is going to be slightly spoiled for me, just due to the fact that I do read comics, specifically Batman and Bat Family related comics. So I am very familiar with A, who the Red Hood is, and B, his story. So if there's any mystery aspect to this movie, it's not going to be a huge shocker to me. So, sorry. But I'm actually really looking forward to watching this movie again. It has been almost 11 years since I've last seen it, so it'll be interesting to see how much nostalgia I actually feel for this movie, and also how my opinions of this have changed now that I'm more familiar with Batman and the characters surrounding Batman. Also, the only thing I really remember about this movie is the big scene, you know, the death in the family scene. It'll also be fun to see how much I remember as we're actually going along. So without any more preamble, let's go ahead and jump into Batman Under the Red Hood.
I should never have allied myself with a madman.
Oh wow, we're jumping right into it, aren't we?
Where are they? In Sarajevo.
This is Ra's al Ghul, Joker, all of it.
He has the boy. Wow, that looked like it really hurt. So, let's try and clear this up, okay, Pumpkin? What hurts more? A or B? Forehand or backhand? A little louder, lamb chop. I think you may have a collapsed lung. That always impedes the oratory.
Oh.
I suppose I'm going to have to teach you a lesson so you can better follow in his footsteps. Nah, I'm just going to keep beating you with this crowbar.
Wow. That's about as disturbing as I remembered it being.
Anyway, be a good boy, finish your homework, and be in bed by 9. And hey, please tell the big man I said hello.
Man, there's something about this Joker that's incredibly disturbing. And there's the bomb. Yeah. It seems so weird to me that comic voters voted for this to happen. Poor Jason. It's fun, though, that Jensen Ackles is Red Hood in this, and in The Long Halloween, he's going to be playing Batman. Poor goddamn Jason, though. It's only after you blow him up that he becomes an interesting character. This Gotham feels very Batman the Animated Series. With all, like, the Zeppelins and just the stacked design of it.
I thought it was fixings.
Wasn't my meat.
How the hell with this? I'm gone. The brain donors want to hang around.
Sit down, Freddy.
Ah, the man of the hour.
Okay, crazy man. This is all very generous. But why in the hell should we listen to you?
Those are the heads of all your lieutenants.
Jesus fucking Christ, Jason. I mean, it leaves a message.
I swear.
A bomb? Oh. A dude. How the fuck did that thing fit in there?
It's called a mazo.
What the hell is an amaze?
Amazo's a big boy.
Packs quite the punch for a toaster on steroids, huh?
Hey!
The hand?
No.
Okay, well, how about I just stick around and watch?
Don't be rude to Dick, Bruce. Ah, the dynamic duo.
Will that do any good?
It'll slow it down.
Think so?
Nope, you just made him look cooler.
I wouldn't be offended by a few suggestions.
He has the same weak points as a human being.
Got it. Just like sting a bit.
Ow! Ah.
I swear, we're not working for anybody. This was our gig, all our idea.
Let it go.
Right. I'll talk, just stop! Just stop! The Red Hood! We're working for the Red Hood! We don't have any choice! Hey, wait!
Right. Leave me with them.
Come on, Bruce. Nightwing's so helpful. You don't always have to leave him behind. A bunch of vats of acid. This can only be one chemical plant if you're in the Batman universe.
I'm not a crook, I swear.
Oh, that original pill head. Red Hood costume.
This bit of intel is what brought me to town. Good thing I've always had perfect timing. Take a look.
Is anyone shocked by the fact that Red Hood is Jason? Like, who else was it going to be?
Could you just once say, let's get in the car? Is that so hard?
I love Dick. Grayson, yeah. Phrasing's really important on that.
Oh, bird boy, you're so much less fun now. All grown up and in your big boy pants. Still, better off than his replacement, right?
Oh, that's not being good.
Digging with the yucks when you worm food. You gonna do it this time? Or you're just gonna put me in another body cast for 6 months?
At some point, I would love to see Bruce just snap and just break Joker's neck.
You know what I missed most about running with you? The toys.
Stay sharp. We're not done.
You wanna dance? Let's dance. Should I? Okay, I'll just take care of this.
Poor Nightwing. I wonder if his relationship to Nightwing in this is because he lost a Robin already and he's doing that thing that Bruce does to try to protect that person. Because he already lost one kid, he doesn't want to lose another. They can't get hurt if they're not near me sort of situation. Still definitely trust him.
I think we lost him.
Nope.
Well, look, we obviously have got ourselves a player. Ow!
Alfred, take him home.
Bruce, I can still help.
You already have. Thank you. Go rest up.
That's the most you're gonna get.
Okay. But you know where to find me if you need me. He didn't just thank me, right?
Indeed, he did so.
Weird.
You haven't lost your touch. Your touch.
You haven't lost your touch, Bruce, right?
You haven't lost your touch, Bruce.
That'd be freaky.
Robin.
I had to take him down.
You shattered his collarbone.
He's a drug-dealing pimp. I didn't think I had to prop up some pillows before I took him out.
The idea of Batman being upset about a man's shattered collarbone is funny, considering modern Batman. Also, I feel like it's a leap of logic to go from Red Hood knowing your name to
Maybe my last one.
him being Robin.
Really? Then you know who's got my back. You know who I answer to.
Sure, the Red Hood.
And we work for the man who's gonna take back what's his.
Holy shit, are they going to set
So,
this dude on fire?
because of your very wide butt. We're sending your boss a message.
Okay. What's the message?
I watched this when I was 11.
Simple one, actually. Want to guess what it might be?
I have a few ideas.
Hi, where the fuck did you come from? Okay, now there's cyber ninjas. Oh. Oh, that was slick. Jason just took that laser beam for Batman. Oh, poor Alfred. Oh. Like, piss off Bruce all you want, but don't break Alfred's heart. Oh. Hi. Oh, really?
He sure can move when he really wants to.
I thought it was a sniper rifle. It's a rocket launcher?
Does he know what's going on?
Knows he's leaving.
Oh, fucking hell, you're gonna get Joker. Oh, that's such a bad idea!
Right.
One psychotic man does not cancel out another psychotic man.
I hope you understand the trouble I've gone through to arrange this little get-together. A lot of money, a lot of dead meat. May I have some water?
Yep. Why the fuck would you break this man out? Okay, he's going to Raisha's place. Raisha's incredibly impractically built castle.
I was in the midst of toppling the economy of Europe. But you were on to me. I sought a distraction, so I hired the Joker.
Why would anyone hire the Joker? Like, yeah, he makes chaos, but you cannot control him in any way whatsoever.
That you would stop.
I don't like the fact that the Joker's laugh is so deep in this.
Well, what was
It's creepy. I mean, it's good, but, you know, creepy.
You know, I achieve this by bathing in the rejuvenating waters of the Lazarus Pit. Along with its healing abilities, it has long been rumored that it is capable of an even greater feat: to raise the dead.
But they don't come back quite right.
The remains of your partner.
Mm.
He returned to this world, but returned damaged.
Yeah, he blew up. Oh, shit. I legitimately thought you were just peeing on them. This is much worse, though. Hey, Batman, you might want to hurry up. Yep. One dude definitely has, like, a lot of burns on him, but, you know, he'll probably survive. Mm.
Unreal.
That's a ballsy ass kid. Of all the things to do, try to steal the tires off the Batmobile.
Look at you. I guess we should keep it even.
Jason.
Yes.
There's something very funny about a domino mask under another mask. Oh.
It's over.
Oh! Ow! Ow.
You say you want to be better than me, but it won't happen. Not like this.
Holy shit, he pushed him through 2 walls.
Bruce, I forgive you for not saving me. But why? Why on God's earth? Is he still alive?
Mm.
You know, I thought I'd be the last person you'd ever let him hurt. If it had been you that he'd beat to a bloody pulp, if he had taken you from this world, I would have done nothing but search the planet for this pathetic pile of evil death-worshipping garbage and send him off to hell.
It'd be too damned easy. All I've ever wanted to do is kill him. A day doesn't go by when I don't think about subjecting him to every horrendous torture he's dealt out to others, and then end him. Oh, so you do think about me. But if I do that, if I allow myself to go down into that place, I'll never come back.
I'm not talking about killing Penguin or Scarecrow or Dent. I'm talking about him. Just him. And doing it because he took me away from you.
I can't.
If If you won't kill this psychotic piece of filth, I will. If you want to stop me, you're gonna have to kill me.
You know I won't.
I'm gonna blow his deranged brains out. And if you want to stop it, you're gonna have to shoot me. Right in my face!
This is turning out even better than I'd hoped.
Decide now! Do it! Him or me? Decide!
Well, that's hell of a plan B.
No! Don't spoil it! This is better! I'm the only one who's gonna get what he wants tonight! Yes! Bing, bang, boom! We all go out together! Don't you just love a happy ending?
So, in light of all the recent events, would you like me to remove that?
No. This doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything at all.
What does that mean, Bruce?
Jason, get on out here or I'm going on patrol without you.
Gotcha!
Would've, if I hadn't seen you slip behind the computer banks 3 minutes ago.
This is the best day of my life.
Holy shit, that's a very melancholy end to this movie. So that was Batman Under the Red Hood. I think this is actually a really solid movie because it kind of compresses Jason Todd's two main stories, Death in the Family and Under the Red Hood, into one movie. It's very concise. Like, even if you've never heard of Jason Todd or you don't know the difference between the Robins, this really tells you everything you need to know about who Jason Todd is and his motivations in a movie that's under an hour and a half. This movie is really helped by the fact that the writer from Under the Red Hood, the comic, also wrote this. And I think that happens a lot in different adaptations if the writer from the comic or novel actually works on the screenplay because they know what's necessary to keep in and what's not because they've written it once, and it is like another revision process where you really have to trim out everything that's not needed. But yeah, I remember watching this when it first came out, and I definitely remembered the first scene where Jason blows up, and then the final scene where Jason tries to get his revenge on the Joker. I mean, for obvious reasons, those are the most iconic scenes, I think, from this movie. But I think this is the movie that made me actually really like Jason Todd. Because I think before this, I was only really familiar with Dick Grayson, and the fact that he goes on to become Nightwing. And I knew that from the Teen Titans and the Batman animated TV show. Jason is one that really gets skipped a lot. I'm gonna be honest, he is kind of the least interesting Robin. He doesn't really bring anything new to the character. He's just a slightly angrier Dick Grayson. Hell, when he first came out, he basically just was Dick Grayson again, but people didn't like him as much because he wasn't Dick Grayson. So, and Jason becomes much more of an interesting character once he dies and then comes back as Red Hood because he does have that bitterness and what I think is a pretty justifiable resentment toward Batman for not killing the Joker. And even if it's not justified, it's understandable. Jason's motivations are always kind of fun to dive into because he does talk a big game, but you can definitely tell he doesn't want Batman dead. He basically takes a bullet for Batman during the Cyber Ninja fight, but at the end when he's shooting at Batman, I think he either A, knows that Batman's going to be able to dodge that, or he's not really thinking in that moment, and if he actually shot Batman, he would really regret it. But yeah, this was my first introduction to Jason, and I really enjoy his character in this. I wish he had more stories in the comics, and I wish he was able to progress past this point, though. Because in the comics, Jason is never allowed to reconcile with Batman or move past his death. Just the way comics work, no matter how far his character arc gets in a single run, once a new writer comes in, he kind of has to start back at this starting point. I thought my enjoyment of this movie might have been lessened by the fact that I know Jason Todd's story and that the mystery would have been ruined, but it's not really much of a mystery. Who else is the Red Hood going to be? And the fact that they keep showing Jason, who for all intents and purposes, if he wasn't the Red Hood, would have nothing to do with the story because he's dead and has been dead for several years at this point. So it's kind of obvious that Jason Todd is the Red Hood. And Jensen Ackles' performance as the Red Hood is really good. Jensen Ackles is a very good actor. You know, I watched Supernatural for too many years, and even when the writing in that show was god-awful, his acting was always pretty much the highlight of the show. He makes you really understand Jason's struggle and the fact that he is really struggling with a lot of stuff, just emotionally, and and his final speech when he's talking about why didn't you kill Joker for me, it does sound like Jason's having a breakdown. But the cast in this is pretty much fantastic. I actually really love Bruce Greenwood as Batman. And Jason Isaacs is always going to be exceptional in anything he does. He plays well put together villains so well, so him as Ra's al Ghul makes perfect sense. Not that we see a lot of him in this, though Ra's al Ghul obviously plays a very important role in bringing Jason back. I don't know at what point Jason's resurrection switched to the Lazarus Pit, but I'm so glad it happened. It makes much more sense in the Batman continuity rather than Superboy Prime punching his fist through continuity, basically, and separating the timelines and bringing Jason back through, I don't know, random comics bullshit. Like, the Lazarus Pit's already there. You know it has life-giving properties. You should just go for that instead. I'm kind of wondering, though, why Nightwing was in this. Not that I'm going to complain about Nightwing being in this, because Nightwing's my favorite, but he doesn't really add anything to the story. He kind of shows up in the very beginning, sprains his ankle, and then leaves. I thought he was going to maybe come back at the end, and then there was going to be kind of a talk, and then have him talk to Bruce, and then we get a kind of parallel between Dick's relationship with Bruce and Jason's relationship with Bruce, but that never happened. Maybe you're supposed to glean from that he's pushing Nightwing away because he's afraid he's going to lose another son, like he did Red Hood, because that's a thing Batman does, is that when he's afraid of losing people, he just kind of pushes them away. Because Jason's death is very much a turning point in Bruce's character, in continuity. It's where you see usually Batman getting darker. Like, beforehand, Jason breaking a man's collarbone is seen as too much. But then when Bruce is talking to Joker, we know that he ended up putting him in a body cast that lasted 6 months. So Jason's death is always that kind of tipping point into Batman becoming more violent, at least in my head. When Dick becomes Robin, that's when Batman becomes slightly lighter, because Dick is someone that he gets to care about and look after and is a ray of sunshine in Bruce's life. And then right after he gets Jason, and what stops him, then there's the tragedy of his death, and then the kind of sadness and guilt that comes with that, and just the straight anger. And Bruce will never forgive himself for letting Jason die. He just won't ever. We see that in the end of this because he still leaves the Jason Todd memorial, basically, up with Jason's Robin costume. And I think that could be read as a couple different ways. The fact that he still wants to respect Jason and the fact that he gave his life, I think, is what it's supposed to represent. And the thing is, it seems like Bruce is keeping that to let himself never forget. Bruce will never be able to move on from that moment, the same way he'll never be able to move on from his parents' deaths. Bruce never forgives himself for what he sees as failures. I think I'd be really dissatisfied with this ending, though, if I wasn't a comic reader, because I understand that this is just Jason's origins, and then his story continues on. This is your jumping off point. But there's no sequel to this movie, really. If you don't go into the comics, this is all you get of Red Hood. This is the ending of his story, really. You don't see his growth or him joining the Outlaws or any of this stuff. And all you're left with, really, is this melancholy ending where you don't know where Jason goes. He just kind of disappears. Joker's still alive. Nothing's really changed after all of this. The only thing that really happened is now Bruce knows that he's alive, but now he's just out there. And then you're just left with this image of a happy, carefree child who you know is going to be beaten to death with a crowbar and then blown up. Some other random thoughts. I thought the animation in this was really solid. The only thing that kind of took me out of it a lot is the fact that it had a heavy use of mixing traditional animation and then CGI animation, especially for vehicles and stuff like that. But it's also the early 2000s, so the process isn't that seamless. Like, I don't mind the use of 3D animation to enhance 2D animation. I understand that cars and other vehicles are a pain in the ass to animate, but it hasn't aged that well. Like, none of it's bad, it just stands out like a sore thumb. But it's also an 11-year-old movie, so I can't fault it too much for that. But the action sequences are very smoothly animated. I think the final one had a lot of weight to it and was very grounded. Like, you can feel whenever Jason's face goes through a porcelain sink and then a toilet. Also, the tone of this was very interesting. Again, in my mind, I watched this on, like, Cartoon Network when I was 11. And maybe it's just the difference of kind of the tones of cartoons then versus cartoons now, but this had some pretty violent moments. You don't see anything, and a lot of the violence is just implied violence, like Jason showing up with a bag of heads. But this has a pretty decent body count. Jason kills a lot of people, the Joker kills a lot of people, even though he's not free to kill a lot of people for most of the movie. We see Jason get beaten to near death. Also, good on the sound designers because, wow, you don't see a lot, but those hits were visceral. This movie, though, makes me want just like an Elseworld story where Jason Todd's death actually breaks Bruce enough in that moment to have Batman kill the Joker. Like, in that moment, Bruce has just seen his son die, and he decides, okay, this is the one. This is the one time I'll break this rule. And to see if that actually changes Batman, like, does the floodgate open and now, oh, we get an ultra-violent Batman who's not afraid to kill? Or does he just struggle with the fact that he's killed someone and he doesn't continue to break his rule, but then he just continues on knowing that he has? And then you have that looming cloud of the Joker's death. And what does that change for when Jason comes back? If the Joker is killed by Batman, does Jason come back with that anger and that pain? Because a lot of times I feel like Jason's just angry. And Bruce has a tendency to be the target of that, no matter what. So that was my reaction to Batman Under the Red Hood. So what are your thoughts about this movie? Was this your first introduction to Jason Todd like it was for me? Also, if you've read the Under the Red Hood comic, how do you think the two compare? Did you like the comic more, or do you prefer the movie adaptation? But as always, thank you so much for watching, and as always, But thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time. Bye.